Welcome to Live Interactive English. Hello, everyone. I am Mike.
And my name is Sydney, and we are so happy to have you with us today because we are going to be talking about starting something new. And we're going to be talking about surfing today.
Starting surfing?
Yeah, surfing.
Okay, I thought we were going to be like learning a new language or learning how to cook. No, we're going to be surfing. And actually, it's a good time to go surfing. Here we are in the month of August. And if you haven't noticed, it's hot. It's really hot outside, so anything that can get you down to the beach or in the water, I think would be a good thing to do now. And as we were discussing, also Ghost Month is coming up in a few weeks, right? So if you're gonna go surfing now. Because when you're surfing, only the sharks can eat you. But in a few months, the ghosts can eat you too.
Yeah,
if you go in the ocean.
Yeah,
that's bad.
In a few weeks, you're going to have sharks to maybe worry about, ghosts to worry about, tides and currents and all types of stuff. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never actually had the privilege of learning how to surf.
No.
You know, I think when I went to Australia years ago, I did some boogie boarding. You know, like a little small bodyboard, and that was really fun.
It's like baby surfing.
Yeah, baby surfing, you know, mini surfing. But I've never actually had the privilege of learning how to surf. What about you?
No, I've never really done that. I've used a boogie board. I've done what they call body surfing, which is just getting pushed around by the waves and calling it a sport. But surfing, of course, is a much different thing. You have a big, long board, and unlike boogie boarding and body surfing, you need to stand up on this board on the water. And if you haven't figured it out, standing on something while it's on the water is tricky. It's not an easy thing to do. But then, of course, once you do that, kind of like skiing, snowboarding, once you figure it out, bicycling, once you figure it out and get your balance all right, it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think a lot of Taiwanese people agree, because if you go out, especially to the East Coast around Yilan, there are lots of people surfing. So, and I think actually with the waves in Taiwan not being crazy big, like they might be in Hawaii, or somewhere where, of course, surfing began, it might actually be a good place to learn to surf.
I think so. Yeah, you can kind of get your feet wet.
Yeah,
you
I like that.
Get your feet wet.
Get your feet wet while you go surfing, and you know, not be challenged by giant waves and stuff like that. So let's start something new with Allison and Jacob as they go about learning how to surf. Allison asks Jacob about surfing.
Hey, you go surfing sometimes, right?
Yeah, I do. Why?
I've been thinking about trying it, but I've got no idea where to start.
I'd be happy to teach you. You just need someone to show you the basics at first.
That would be fantastic. I'm nervous though. It's all new to me.
That's very normal when you're not used to it.
What can I do to prepare?
We'll start at a beach with gentler waves until you get the hang of being on the board.
That sounds good. Thanks so much for helping me out.
Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to be asking about surfing because it is a sport that comes with some danger, right?
Yes,
you definitely don't want to teach yourself to surf. That would probably be a bad idea. So it's good to know what you're doing when you begin learning to surf, like learning to scuba dive or swim, kind of any sport in the water.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
So it says Allison asks Jacob about surfing. So I'm assuming Allison is new and Jacob is a little more experienced.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
All right. So Allison says, hey, you go surfing sometimes, right?
Okay. All right, so definitely he does, and he says, yeah, I do, in an excited way. And then he asks her the simple question, why? 为什么? Why are you asking me about surfing, Allison?
And then she says, I've been thinking about trying it, but I've got no idea where to start. Okay.
It's logical, right?
Yeah.
If you want to do something and you don't know much about it, but you know someone who does, naturally ask that person. And Jacob being a nice guy, and like most surfers, being excited about his sport and wanting other people to enjoy it too, he says, I'd be happy to teach you. So there you go. That's great for Allison. Jacob knows how to do it, and he is happy to teach her. It would please him very much. But he does say, you just need someone to show you the basics at first. Okay, and yeah, when you're doing something a little challenging, a little different, a little, special and strange, it's good to know the basics at first.
Yeah, so and when we talk about the basics, we just mean the first steps, the rules to know, simple things that you should know before you start something, right? So, when you're learning English, maybe the basics would be learning your ABCs and then learning your phonics, right? Those are the basics. You need the basics or the foundation to know where to start.
Yeah.
So, for example, we could say, Alice is learning the basics of drawing, so she starts with simple shapes.
Okay.
It makes perfect sense. You want to learn how to, be a great artist, then you definitely need to know the basics first, which would be starting with something simple.
Makes sense to me. If you can draw a nice circle, square, triangle, and other simple shapes, then it's easier to do other things.
Yeah.
And then we go back to Allison.
Yeah, and then she says, that would be fantastic. I'm nervous, though. It's all new to me, which is understandable. Like we said before, surfing can definitely be a bit dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, if you're a beginner, if you're just kind of learning something new. So she's excited, but she's nervous at the same time.
Yeah, it's good to be nervous when you're doing something like this because it just means you're prepared and you want to do it well and you don't want to make some mistakes.
Yeah.
Let's go over to Hanny. She never makes mistakes because she is 100% perfect and correct all the time.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。对话里的 Allison 一直想试试看冲浪，她知道 Jacob 有时候会去，所以就问问他。Jacob 很乐意教他，他说一开始只需要有人带着学基本技巧就好。那么 basics 这个名词就是基本技巧、动作或者是基本原则、基础。Mike 老师说 Jacob 他比较有经验，用到 experienced 这个字就可以形容有经验的、老练的。老师还有提到 challenging。那它可以形容是有难度的、具有挑战性的。好，接着回到对话中。
Okay, so we are back with our dialogue, and Allison is talking to Jacob about surfing. She wants to learn, but she also wants to ask some simple questions before they actually go all the way to the beach and, get into the first class. And so she was saying she's a little nervous. She wants to learn the basics. She wants to learn in the right way. And Jacob just says that's very normal when you're not used to it. Yes, absolutely. Being a bit nervous, being a little bit scared, maybe even when you're doing something that comes with some danger, like surfing, learning how to ride a bike, fly an airplane, skydiving, jumping out of a plane for the first time. It's very normal to be nervous and very normal to want to be ready for it. Because normal is usual, common, what you would expect. Yeah. If someone's like, hey, I'm going to learn how to fly a plane and I know nothing about airplanes and I'm not going to take a class, you would say to that person, you're not normal because you're probably going to crash the airplane and die. And that would be very strange. In other words, not normal. So normal is what you expect. Strange is not what you expect or not normal. For example, when the power came back, everything was normal again. The air conditioner works, the lights work, the computer turned back on. Everything was usual, common, what you expect because it's normal to have power.
Yeah, all right. And then Allison asks, what can I do to prepare?
Good question.
All right, so what can I do to prepare? What can I do to get ready for learning how to surf?
Okay, and Jacob says, learn how to swim. No, he doesn't say that. I guess we're assuming Allison knows how to swim.
Right, I guess that's like step 0 if you think about it, know how to swim.
That's the basics of the basics.
Yeah.
So yes, if you don't know how to swim, learn how to swim first and actually get pretty good at swimming if you want to surf because of course you will fall in the water and at that point you will have to start to swim. So let's just guess that Allison does know how to swim. So what are the other things to actually start surfing? Well, Jacob says we'll start at a beach with gentler waves until you get the hang of being on the board. Okay, great idea.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So a beach with gentler waves, you might say smaller waves too, right? They're not too big, they're not too powerful. If you fall off, the waves won't smash you into the bottom of the ocean and make your life very difficult or even scary. The gentler waves, like you often find in Taiwan, until you get the hang of being on the board. This expression to get the hang of something is just to become comfortable with it, to learn how to do it. So, you're not scared. You feel quite safe because you know what's going on. You know what to do. You have the hang of it.
Yeah, it sounds like a perfect environment for learning how to surf.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, and Allison says, that sounds good. Thanks so much for helping me out.
All right, and it also sounds good to go to Hanny. So let's do that.
听到 Allison 说有点紧张 ，Jacob 告诉他这很正常，不习惯的时候都会这样的。那可以先从这个浪比较小的海滩开始练，等到掌握了在冲浪板上的感觉再说。好，那单字 normal 就是形容正常的、平常的或是一般水准的。Mike 老师刚刚在描述被浪打到时，他用到 smash 这个动词，它可以表达猛击、撞击，或是有打碎、摔破的意思。那接着回到对话中。
All right, so we have just been following along with Allison and Jacob. So Allison is going to kind of start with the basics on learning how to surf, and I think Jacob's going to help her out.
There you go.
So we're going to see if Allison can do what you're doing now and see if she can balance on the board.
Yeah.
But first, we're going to go to the second part of the dialogue.
She's going to do it for real, though,
She's
right?
going to do it for real, I think, hopefully.
That'll
So we're
be-
going to go to the second part of the dialogue,
Okay.
and we'll be right back to find out what happens.
That'll be harder.
I think so, yeah.
She can do it, though.
She can do it. We believe in you, Allison.
Let's find out.
Go ahead.
Allison and Jacob talk about their surfing experience after their first trip.
That surfing trip was incredible. I didn't expect to enjoy it so much.
You did great for your first time.
Really? I fell so many times.
Don't worry, it happens to everyone. And that time the wave caught you off guard was kind of funny.
Hey, I swallowed so much water.
But you laughed right after. It's all part of the learning process.
True. And guess what? I can finally stand on the surfboard.
I saw that. You kept your balance for a few seconds.
I felt so proud.
You should be. Next time, you'll do even better.
Okay, welcome back, guys. So Allison was going to learn how to surf under the supervision of her surfing teacher, Jacob. Now we're going to jump forward in time, and it's after the class. Oh, this is good news, Sydney. This is really good news. I feel safe and happy. Allison and Jacob talk about their surfing experience after their first trip. I feel happy because Allison is alive.
She's alive. She
Yes.
made it.
She's
She
not,
did it.
She's not kind of swimming to the Philippines because she fell off. She didn't end up in the stomach of a shark or something even worse than that. So this is good. So it was a successful first class. It was successful because she lived.
She lived.
We don't know if she liked it, but we do know she survived her first class. So that is a good thing.
All right, now let's find out if she liked it or not.
Okay.
Let's see. So Allison says, oh, that surfing trip was incredible.
Oh,
yay.
okay.
She liked it. She loved it. All right.
Better than saying it was terrifying.
Right, yeah,
Or
incredible.
awful.
It was awesome. It's great. She
There you
loved
go.
it. She had a great experience.
Super.
And then she says, I didn't expect to enjoy it so much.
Even
She loved it.
There
She
you
enjoyed
go.
it much more than she thought she would. That's
Right.
great.
And sometimes when you learn how to do something, it might not be the most fun, right? You're doing the basic, boring stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone else is on their surfboard and having a good time and you're falling off. But she didn't mind that. She enjoyed it a lot. She had a good time. And Jacob is praising her, congratulating her. He says, you did great for your first time, because there are people who will really struggle, who will find it frustrating, who will constantly be falling or whatever. And they might be like, I don't like this. But she did really well and she enjoyed it. So that's good.
That's great. And then she says, really? I mean, like, really? Like, I actually did a great job. And then she says, I fell so many times. But you know what? That's okay, Allison. Okay, we all have to fall down sometimes to get back up and try again. And sometimes in English, we say practice makes perfect, or practice makes better. So yeah, she did a great job.
Very good.
Yeah.
And any of those sports where you need to use your balance, bicycling, skiing, snowboarding, gymnastics, people do that slack line thing where they stand on a wire. And all. It's always really tricky. And often you do it, you fall, and then suddenly you're not falling. Suddenly your brain's like, oh, I know how to do this. So as Jacob says, don't worry. It happens to everyone. Yeah, I bet there's like not a single person in the history of the world who ever got on a surfboard and like, I can do this. First time, no problem. No, everyone is going to have a tough time when they first start. And he says, and that time the wave caught you off guard was kind of funny. Okay, so there was a funny moment when maybe Allison looked a little silly. She was on the board, she just stood up and then wham, she got hit by a wave, a wall of water, and she went flying and Jacob was probably like, are you okay? That was a little funny.
Yeah, and that's very normal. There have been countless times when I've been at the beach, you know, just very close to the sand, and then I'm swimming, everything's fine. All of a sudden, a wave just
you come out of the water and you're like, oh, I look like a water angel. Yeah. And all of a sudden,
all of a sudden, lights out. My sunglasses are falling off. I'm falling over. I can't get up. So very, very normal to happen, especially
sand
on a
out of your mouth.
Yeah, it's crazy. And and then Allison says, hey, I swallowed so much water.
Ooh,
which is, again, very normal, right? If a wave kind of catches you off guard and then you swallow a lot of water, happens all the time. Of course, to swallow, right, that's the act of, you know, kind of pushing something down your throat, whether it's food, water. In this case, it sounds like she accidentally swallowed the water, right? So for example, we could say, Ian swallowed a fish bone and felt uncomfortable. Ooh, so again, swallowing is, you know, the act of, you know, pushing things down your throat, usually intentionally, like you mean to, but sometimes we can accidentally swallow things like ocean water or, in Ian's case, a fish bone.
Yeah, you're going to swallow your delicious food and your drink to get it in your stomach.
Yeah.
But seawater, fish bones, a fly if you're riding your bike and a fly goes in your mouth. Those are things you don't want to swallow. All right, let's go over to Hanny. She's going to tell us all about some wonderful stuff, I'm sure.
Allison 在 Jacob 的监督指导下，顺利完成冲浪初体验。虽然摔了很多次，还被海浪打到措手不及，喝了很多海水，但是他很乐在其中。那么 Jacob 也觉得 Allison 表现很不错。好，单字 swallow 这个动词表示吞下、咽下或是吞没。Mike 老师刚刚用到 supervision 这个名词，它可以指监督、管理或是指导。那接华对话中。
Okay, guys, we're back with our dialogue, and Allison and Jacob are talking about the surfing class that Allison just got from her surfing buddy, Jacob. There was a time she did look funny. She fell off the board. She got hit by a wave, fell off her board, and swallowed a lot of water. That, of course, can be a not so much fun experience. But as Sydney mentioned, when you're in the ocean, you know, it happens. Waves do weird things. Yeah. And she seemed to take it all not a big problem. She didn't suddenly go, I hate surfing. I never want to do this again. It happened. She had a little accident, made a mistake, but that was okay. It's part of learning. As Jacob says, but you laughed right after. So right after getting hit by the water, swallowing all that water, she kind of laughed about it, realized maybe she did something a little silly and made a mistake. And as Jacob says, it's all part of the learning process. Yes, when you learn things, especially when it's really new and you're doing all these different things for the first time, like when you go surfing, you're going to make mistakes. And that is part of the learning process. A process is kind of like a step-by-step way of doing something. If you follow a recipe when you're making food, even if you've made that food before, you still need to follow a process, right? You collect the ingredients, you cut the things up, you turn on the oven or the stove at a certain temperature, you cook things in a certain way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, follow that list in the order, or A, B, C, D. That's the process. That's how you do it successfully. And that's how you will probably do it quite often in the future, because that process leads to success. It leads to completing your goal. For example, learning a new skill can be a slow process. Absolutely. Definitely. If you learn how to surf or learn how to cook or learn how to do almost anything, you're not going to become amazing at it right away. Practice and trying it out and making mistakes all lead to success.
And then Allison says, true, meaning true. Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess this is kind of all part of the process of learning how to surf.
There you go.
And then she says, and guess what? I can finally stand on the surfboard. That's great. So I wonder, did she learn how to stand on the surfboard in one lesson?
I guess so.
Wow.
I mean, she probably fell like 40 times before she did.
Yeah.
But still, being able to go out there and be on the ocean for an hour or two one day and then getting up on standing on that surfboard, that is definitely success.
That's great. That's great progress for one lesson.
And the good news is her teacher saw her do that. So he's not like, really? Did you stand up? You were always falling off when I looked. No, he says, I saw that. You kept your balance for a few seconds. 1, 2, 3, then you fall off again. But still, that's better because for me it would be, it wouldn't even be 1. I would fall off before 1 second. She got a few seconds. So yeah, we're assuming 3, 4 seconds, something like that. And really, standing on a board on the ocean is not an easy thing to do.
Definitely quite difficult. All right. And then Allison says, I felt so proud.
Good job,
meaning she
me.
felt really proud of herself. She was really happy that she was able to stand up on the surfboard. Like you said, probably after falling in the water so many times.
That is how you learn to surf. That's the only way. You should be, Jacob says, you should be proud of yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a little clap. Say, well done, me. So yeah, he says you should be proud because not everyone would be able to do that, even in just the first class, especially. Next time, he says, you'll do even better. And that's a good way to encourage her to try again. She's had a bit of success. She can build on that, and pretty soon she'll be a surf girl, a surf buddy.
Yes, a surfer girl.
A surfer girl. There you go. Isn't that cool? Let's go over to our surfer girl. She's amazing, Hanny. She can surf anything.
Really?
I have no idea.
I was going to say, this is a fun fact that I never knew. Hanny, you can surf?
Let's find out.
Let's see it. Let's go to the beach.
Show us right now.
Well, I'm pretty good at surfing the internet. 我只会在网络上冲浪。那我们也学一下 surf the internet 就可以表达上网浏览。好，那么 Jacob 听到 Allison 说他喝了很多海水，他说啊，这都是学习过程的一部分。接着 Allison 提到他终于能站上冲浪板了。他觉得很自豪。那么 Jacob 说他是应该感到自豪，而且呢，下一次一定会更好的。单字 process 这个名词就是过程或程序。那接华对话中。
All right, so we have just followed Allison and Jacob. And so Allison sounds like she's very proud of herself. She had a lovely surfing lesson. And it sounds like Jacob is also very proud of her accomplishment as well.
There you go. Yeah. Well done to her. I'm a little sad. I was enjoying her learning to surf.
Me too.
And I was looking forward to her becoming an amazing surfer, but maybe we'll meet up with her next year once she is an expert surfer. But we would encourage you guys, if you're interested in it, Taiwan is a great place to learn how to surf. Just be careful out there. And if you don't know how to swim, take care of that first before you do the surfing. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye. Be safe. Allison asks Jacob about surfing.
Hey, you go surfing sometimes, right?
Yeah, I do. Why?
I've been thinking about trying it, but I've got no idea where to start.
I'd be happy to teach you. You just need someone to show you the basics at first.
That would be fantastic. I'm nervous though. It's all new to me.
That's very normal when you're not used to it.
What can I do to prepare?
We'll start at a beach with gentler waves until you get the hang of being on the board.
That sounds good. Thanks so much for helping me out.
Allison and Jacob talk about their surfing experience after their first trip.
That surfing trip was incredible. I didn't expect to enjoy it so much.
You did great for your first time.
Really? I fell so many times.
Don't worry, it happens to everyone. And that time the wave caught you off guard was kind of funny.
Hey, I swallowed so much water.
But you laughed right after. It's all part of the learning process.
True. And guess what? I can finally stand on the surfboard.
I saw that. You kept your balance for a few seconds.
I felt so proud.
You should be. Next time, you'll do even better.
「最后我们来复习今天对话里的单字。Basics 名词就是基本技巧、动作或基本原则、基础。Normal 是形容正常的、平常的或一般水准的。Swallow 动词表示吞下、咽下或吞没。Process 名词是指过程、程序。那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
The word providence means the protective care of God or of nature as a spiritual power. Today's location includes this word. It's Providence University, which was founded by an American congregation. We'll learn more about that in a moment, but first, a congregation is a group of people who gather together, usually for religious worship. Now let's find out more about Providence University. Providence University is a Catholic school. It was founded by Mother Marie Gracia Luking and 5 sisters from the Sisters of Providence of St. Mary of the Woods, an American religious congregation. Eager to promote education for girls, they established Huamei Girls Elementary and High Schools in Kaifeng, Henan Province in 1921. Due to the war in China, they later relocated to Taiwan. In 1956, Providence English College was created. And in 1989, the school became Providence University for Women, admitting only female students at the time. It welcomed its first male students in 1993 and was renamed Providence University. Providence University aims to equip students with a global perspective, professional skills, and a commitment to serving society. The university also values foreign language education. With many international students, it provides plenty of opportunities to meet people from around the world. The campus is full of beautiful features, from sculptures and old trees to Magpie Bridge, where students can enjoy Taizong's night view or gaze out at the sea. With its broad education and scenic campus, Providence University offers students a well-rounded and inspiring learning experience. Whether or not you plan to become a student at Providence University, it's well worth your time to visit the campus the next time you're in Taizong.